The Dust Bowl, also known as the Dirty Thirties, was a migration from the Great American Desert to other surrounding states in America. Some moved to California, others moved to Washington and Colorado. This event happened in the 1930s, more particularly in 1934 and 1936. About 2.5 million Americans moved to avoid being killed from the raging desert storms that had destroyed their homes and agriculture. There were many push factors of this migration. One reason for migration was poverty. The dust storms had destroyed many homes, and the lack of agriculture had left the immigrants out of the crop business. The constant dust storms made work impossible. The droughts during the storm were also a reason. The desert biome and the sandstorm dissipated all the water for them and the plants. Another one was crop failure. The residents of the Great American Desert had lost their agriculture, as the constant dust deprived plants of their topsoil and water, so there was a lot of famine for the Americans that remained in the Great Plains. So 500,000 people were left homeless. In the affected areas, more than 350 houses were destroyed. Some people that stayed behind died of dust pneumonia and malnutrition. California did not like the migrants coming in, as they were taking jobs, especially since America was going through the Great Depression at that time, and jobs were very scarce. The numbers of migrants heavily outweighed the amount of jobs they could provide, with around 7,000 people coming in per month. This also raised the taxes because there were too many people coming in. This type of migration can be classified as a forced migration, as the Americans had no choice but to live in the Great Plains and were pushed out by the dust storms. In comparison, the California Gold Rush in 1849 was a voluntary migration, as people came out of their own free will to try their luck in finding the gold. The Dust Bowl was a migration on a regional scale, while the Gold Rush was on an international scale. People from other countries like China and Europe migrated to California. Many came for greater wealth, which was the pull factor for the migrants to come. Many people gained wealth from this migration. For the Dust Bowl, it was just to survive. I believe that the people that were forced to move because of the Dust Bowl had no choice, otherwise they would not be able to survive. The migrants moved out to support themselves. However, the migrants raised the taxes in other states, especially during the Great Depression. Although there were jobs available, there were not enough to supply all the migrants, thus leaving most of them with no home and no job, making their migration pointless.